Some more behind the scenes of thesis prepping. So it's one of those days where you're like get ridiculously proud of yourself for figuring out how to do something and make something really, really lame. But you taught yourself and you used a bunch of different tools to figure out what you need to do. And so you're just really happy. And so, yeah, now I want to show you a little more about Ego and then how I made this video, which is in progress and still really bad. But basically, I wanted to make this video to introduce people to Argonaut in like part of my presentation for my thesis defense. And I spent the afternoon doing this. This morning I was actually doing like more like hardcore writing stuff, and I had a really productive morning, and so I'm like really psyched with myself for that. And then I'm like, okay, let's try to figure out how to make this video I've been wanting to make. Booyah. Okay, let's go look. Following me, you know that like with Illustrator and stuff, I'm one of those people who just like enough to get by and do what you need. And so today I took that to the extreme with Pymol to make figures, and then or Illustrator to make figures, Pymol to make the structure figures, then Adobe Premiere Pro to put those pictures into a movie, and then Adobe After Effects to put text and stuff on the movie, and then yeah, so basically I'm turning into like a spokesperson for Adobe, except I'm a really bad spokesperson because I have no idea how to use these things. But I have like Adobe Creative Cloud or whatever is how I get my Illustrator, and so I also get these other things like as part of the bundle, so I'm like I might as well try to use them. And so that's what I did here, and so I'll show you the video first and then I'll just show you like behind the scenes and making it. Okay, so ready? Yeah, and I rendered it like at a really low res and stuff because it's just like a work in progress, and I tried to render it higher and it crashed my computer, and I don't want to do that again. So yeah, okay, so here we go. Argonaut has 4 main domains: N, Paz, Mid, and Pewee. It also has 2 linker regions, L1 and L2. It holds the RNA within it, from the structure holding from the 5' end, followed by the pre-organized seed, winding through Ego to the 3' end, which is held by the Paz domain. If we show the surface, we can see that only this seed region is exposed and ready to find and bind mRNA targets. And so the seed region is pre-organized, the beginning of the seed is pre-organized into this helical conformation, so that when it goes and finds mRNAs that have complementarity, it can then further open. And that's going to be the next part of the video. But yeah, so if you want to learn more about Ego, I have those other videos I'll link to. But you probably, if you've been following me, you have heard a lot about Ego, and you're going to hear more because I'm preparing to give my whole thesis defense about it. But anyway, so these like domain architecture, so domains are basically like functional regions of proteins, and so these domain architectures like is how you show like that things are like where things are in the sequence. And it looks like it cut off the top of the oh, there we go. Okay, well, it's just when I'm holding it. But anyway, so it shows like what amino acids, so this shows like Ego, it has like 859 amino acids, so protein letters, and then like you can split it up and say, okay, this part is the N domain, this part is the Paz domain, so they're like functional regions or whatever. And so I wanted to make those images, and so I made those a while back actually in Illustrator. And so yeah, so I just make them all, and then I can export them as assets. So if you do option click, then it's one thing, but right now they're all groups. So if I just drag them, now I have all these groups, then I can save them with their names and then export them as PNGs, which I did a long time ago. So yeah, so yes, I have figures for thesis, figures for keynote, and then figures for this because it's with an empty screen, because so you don't see all my other work because it's unpublished, but hopefully not for long. But anyway, okay, going back. So I make those pictures, but then I have to get this protein structure. And so for that, I've used Pymol, which is the tool I've been telling you a lot about as well. And so I actually have a script that I wrote to color the structure of ego the way I want. And then, so I have more in the Primal video, but basically I just set the settings, then I fetch the PDB, then I select the different domains and create objects for them, and color them the way I want, then show the different domains, and one at a time, and then take new, make them scenes, and then export this, ray trace the scenes. So, and then I can run the script. So I'm not gonna actually like ray trace them again. But if I run the script, and here you can see that they're all done, and then you can export them. And so I have to export them in the code, but you can also just like draw ray and then do that for individually. But so yeah, so I save each of them as a different scene, using this like scene store. So in this code or whatever, it says, okay, display it like this, then store that as a scene, and then it says later like, okay, now ray trace that scene and save it as a PNG with these settings. And so yeah, so Primal, thankfully there's like a Primal wiki online that's like really, really helpful, if you're ever stuck with anything on how to do that. But anyway, so I exported them there. And so basically I could have just made a movie in Primal, but one was like I didn't know how long I'd want the frames to be, because I still need to play around with that. And then, or like not the frames, but like how long it's stuck at stays at one thing. Another thing is that when Primal like makes it like ray traces it, so it'll like keep doing it for every frame, like even if the thing's not moving. And so then you end up with like a lot. It uses a lot of energy and like computer resources, and I've crashed it way too many times. So I just did it as individual scenes, and then I can put them together. And then like with the movie part though, I made those with a separate script and a separate movie, and that's actually a movie. But then I want to put them together, and so like originally I was using like iMovie, and then I realized I had like Adobe stuff that works better. So then I can put these all in as these. And so there's like different channels. This is Premiere Pro or whatever, and so there's like different channels. And so I have like the different scenes here, and so you can see here though that this is like in the wrong place and stuff. This is when I was setting up the scenes or whatever, and then I realized that it's really hard to kind of like, you can add things, but it's harder to like format them and put them where you want than I wanted. And then I discovered After Effects, which is a lot better with like doing the graphics and the things, like aligning them just like you would in Illustrator. So if you used Illustrator, like this is gonna be really it's, well, not comfortable, but it's more comfortable in terms of how you align things, and that sort of thing. So you have the like align tools and all of that stuff that makes me happy, and that I'm used to. Yeah, and so the next thing I want to do is I'm going to, well then after that I did like file, you can like export and then add it to my media encoder or Adobe Media Encoder queue, and then it took me to Adobe the encoder, and then it exported it. So long story short, I finally figured out how to do all that stuff, and it was probably like the longest way possible to do all this stuff, but it's possible. So yeah, so the next thing I want to do is go back and, so after I do this, right now you can't see it, okay. So after it comes around, then I want to like, I'm gonna remove go back to like the color cartoon, or just like, so just without that, and then I want to put in like when the seed, so when it binds to a target, and then like when so like how it moves in order to like accommodate the target and stuff, and how this helix moves away and that sort of thing. So yeah, so I'm probably gonna make in Primal like a movie to go from the end scene of here to transition it to this more smoothly, and then like this and stuff, and put some text in on After Effects or whatever. So that's the plan, but that'll probably wait till next weekend because, yeah, so basically I enjoy doing this type of thing, and so then I can get sucked into it and take a bunch of time, and I don't want to take that much time from like the quote unquote more important stuff of the research, like the writing. But yeah, so I'm really most productive writing, and like 4:30 to 8 in the morning is like my prime spot, and then people start like then things start getting more distracting and you get all that stuff. But that really early morning time, man, I was like cranking stuff out this morning, and then I had another pretty good couple hours later. And so yeah, and it's a holiday, and why am I making excuses? It's just hard when it's like your thesis is like so close, like every single minute it feels like but I really wanted to put this in my, so this is for my thesis and stuff, and I'm still making excuses, and I'm like, I need to stop this. But anyway, so yeah, that was my day, and I just wanted to say hi, and thanks again for everyone for the happy thoughts and good lucks and stuff yesterday when I was talking about being a month from my thesis defense, and now I'm less than a month, so yay! Okay, bye.